Hello, third grade. Welcome to Math Lesson 102. Would you please open up your math book to page 546? And I will start by having you look at these buttons. Move my camera just a bit. And we can see that we have three groups of buttons. Sorry. In the first group, all the buttons have 2 buttonholes. In the second group, all the buttons have 3 buttonholes. And in the third group, all the buttons have 4 buttonholes. How are we going to add this new button? We need to look at group 1, group 2, and group 3. And if you said we would put it in group 2 because it has 3 buttonholes, you are correct. Thank you. Hold on just a second. Now, it's going to be important that we continue to think as a third grader. You will be sorting objects by their attributes just like you did when you were little. You can sort them by their size or their color or their shape, but watch this video to see another way to sort. Here it comes.
Oh, you may not think I'm pretty, but don't judge on what you see. I'll eat myself if you can find a smarter hat than me.
You can keep your bowlers black.
Your top hat's sleek and tall,
Or I'm the Hogwarts sorting hat.
and I can cap them all. There's nothing hidden in your head the sorting hat can't see. So try me on,
And I will tell you.
where you are. You might belong in Gryffindor. We're 12 and brave at heart. They're daring, nerve, and chivalry set Gryffindor's apart. You might belong in Hufflepuff, where they are just and loyal.
Those patient Hufflepuffs
Are true and unafraid of toil. Or yet, and wise old Ravenclaw. That's you, bud. Ready, mind?
were those of wit and learning.
Will always find their kind. Or perhaps in Slytherin, you'll make real friends. Those cunning folk use any means to achieve their ends.
So put me on.
Don't be afraid, and don't get in a flat. You're in safe hands, though I have none.
For I'm a thinking cat. Hufflepuff.
So remember, there's all kinds of ways to sort. Well, let's look at this. Whoops.
Are you Hi, today I'm going to show you what we're going to be doing in class with sorting and classifying. So I have some shapes around my 2 circles here, and we're going to sort them in 3 different ways. One way that we can sort the shapes is by color. So what 2 colors do you see on the screen? What 2 shape colors? We see blue and red. Okay, we're going to sort into these 2 circles, and I made them different colors just so we can see the 2 different colors. So all the blue ones will go in one circle. And all the red ones will go in another circle. The color is the attribute that we're using. So you can see all of the shapes in the yellow circle are blue. All of these shapes in the pink circle are red. So they're sorted by color. That's one way to sort. That's one attribute. Okay. Another way we can sort our shapes is by size. So I see some big shapes and little shapes. So I'm going to put these shapes in this circle. I'm going to put these shapes in this circle. Can you tell what attribute I'm sorting? I already told you size, but can you tell me what these shapes have in common and what these shapes have in common? Right, these shapes are all small and these shapes are all big. So we sorted by the attribute of size. The last way we can sort our shapes is by shape. So I have two different shapes here, rectangles and triangles. So I can put all the rectangles in one shape, in one circle, and all the triangles in another circle. So the attribute I used to sort this time was shape. So there are three different attributes that we're going to sort over the next couple of weeks. We're going to sort by color, shape, and size. We did that here today. We're going to practice with some other circles in school during small group time.
All right. Now, what I'd like you to do is on your marker board, please write these numbers: 26, 73, 54, 49, 31, and 80. We can sort these numbers by their attribute. Now, one attribute might all be the fact that they're all two-digit numbers, but then they would all be in the same group and we couldn't really separate them. What about if we sorted them by even numbers? Odd numbers. That would be one way that we could separate them. Well, 26. Is 26 odd or even? That's right, it's even. What about 73? 73 is odd. 54? 54 is even. 49? 49 is an odd number. 31? 31 is an odd number. And 80? 80 is an odd, 80 is an even number. So now we've taken these 6 numbers and we've sorted them by the attribute of being either odd or even. Good job. Let's go ahead and look in your math book, page 547. And the next thing we see at the top of the page, lesson practice A, is that we should describe a rule for sorting these numbers. We look at group A, 10, 60, 40, 20, 70, and group B, 12, 23, 74, 31, 58. Well, I can't use two-digit because they're all two-digit numbers, so I have to find another way to sort them. Let's check the odd and even. Well, group A has all even numbers. That won't work. Group B has both odd and even. That won't work. Could I say numbers? Group A. They are all multiples of 10. Let's check. 10, 60, 40, 20, 70. They are all multiples of 10. And let's look at those numbers in B again. Well, I guess very simply, they are not multiples. And the sorting can be just that simple. Multiples of 10 for the first group, not multiples of 10 for the second group. Let's look at letter B on lesson practice. Now we have action figures. Well, I thought about this and I thought, well, there's always good guy and bad guy action figures. Some come from a movie or a TV show, but maybe you can think of some other ways. And if you can, that is awesome. Good for you. Keep your mind open and remember there's a lot of different kinds of attributes. Now I'd like you to work out this problem on your marker board for me, just for a little more practice. We're going to do some long division, and yesterday we learned that there's some important notes we write on our paper every time we're going to do our math with long division. We're going to write divide, multiply, subtract, and bring down, just to help us remember the steps. Well, I'll look over here and think 2 goes into 7. How many times? Well, 2 times 3 is 6. 6 is less than 7. That would work. So I'll multiply 3 times 2. I get 6. My next step is to subtract. When I subtract, I get 1. That means it's time to bring down the next number. The next number is a 6. How many times does 2 go into 16? It goes in 8 times. 2 times 8 is 16. Now I subtract 16 and I get 0. That is a really big answer. We better check this to make sure we're right. 2 times 8 is 16. I'll put down my 6 and carry the 1. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Well, I started with 76 and I got 76 here, so I've checked my work and I am correct. Awesome. Let's look at the next problem. Would you please on your marker board write this? I have to remember my steps. Divide, multiply, subtract, and bring down. All right, divide. How many 3s are in 8? Well, 3 times 3 is 9. That's too big. Let's try 2. 2 times 3 is 6. I subtract 6 and get a 2. 2 is less than 3, so I'm good. I bring down my 1. How many 3s are in 21? Well, that would be 7, I think. Let me check. 7 times 3 is 21. I subtract and get 0. Let's check. 27 times 3. 3 times 7 is 21. I carry my 2. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 is 8. 81 is the number I started with, so I have checked my work, and I'm off to a great start. On your math paper, please put divide, multiply, subtract, and bring down up in the top corner. Make sure your name is on your math paper. As we go through the assignment, you're going to be working on some of the things we talked about today. Notice number 2, we're sorting numbers by their attribute of being either an odd number or an even number. Okay. In number 3, we have to pick 2 numbers to add before we can add the third number. So make sure you work this part out first and then, then subtract this from this total. Remember, parentheses say, do me first. And number 5, you're going to use a ruler and draw a line segment. Don't forget to tell me what another fraction name would be. That's important too. On number 6, you're going to draw an array and then tell me how many X's are in each column. Remember, a column goes up and down. Read 7 very carefully. Number 8, you're writing an expanded form. There's a clue here, guys. Let's be careful. Number 9, look at that number line very carefully in your math book. Find the number halfway in between 300 and 600. For number 10, you're going to estimate the number of pennies in a jar that's full, and then estimate the number of pennies in a jar that is half full. We want to see some kind of a problem so we can understand your thinking for number 10. On 11, you are going to figure out how many crayons are in 3 large boxes. Okay, so think about how you would multiply that. For number 12, remember, we can't do this. You need to pick 2 numbers to multiply. After you have that answer, multiply by the third number. Be careful. Number 3, you are going to sort by attributes. You are going to think very carefully about these numbers. Okay? In group A, there's a really simple answer. 1, 0, 4, 5, and 8. All of those numbers have how many digits? In group B, this isn't hard, my dear third graders. How many numbers do 10, 32, 35, 57, and 79 have? Write your answer by A and B. 14, you're figuring out years. We need a label. 15 has an A and a B. 16, you are estimating. 17, that should be easy for you. You're dividing. 18 and 19, do those look familiar at all? I hope so. And number 20, we are going to change these numbers, the prices of the milk and the cereal. Okay, we're going to estimate. These numbers change. Please be careful. Check your work and put your paper in its spot. Thanks, third grade. Bye-bye.